Chris Lofton's SEC Storied podcast that came on Monday night. I hope you guys had a chance to watch it. If you haven't, watch it. It's great. It was very, very emotional, riveting at certain points. Chris Lofton's SEC Storied documentary.
Can I tell my Chris Lofton story real quick?
Sure.
So, I covered football for the News Sentinel. I covered baseball for what was then WNOX, is now the Sports Animal. I covered basketball, I should say. But Mike Griffith, who had a miss a day. He was out of town for some reason. And I remember going to their awards banquet. For some reason, they had me cover that. Maybe it was just a slow time in football. I don't know. But I remember it was so odd. It was like in a little conference room, like a small, how hotels have those small conference rooms? It was at the, it's now the Marriott downtown. And Bruce Pearl and Chris Lofton sat down and told everybody about the cancer diagnosis. And it was just absolutely a stunner. And if you remember, we asked all year why Chris Lofton wasn't playing at a higher level. Well, that was why. And that's why it's such an incredible story. And God bless him and for overcoming that, and just an incredible guy to deal with. But first, let's get to Four Downs right now, as we want to talk about the Chris Lofton documentary. When this runs out, I will be glad to let you know. But Cooper Mays, former Tennessee Vol, what should people do if this will go off? It will.
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Do it. What down, Coop?
Coop here. First down.
Yeah, I think these things are overblown a lot, but making Kentucky pay for not offering him, I thought that was pretty cool. I do think it motivated him. I think those things are overblown a lot, but I think that he wanted to be his best, partly because Kentucky turned their back on him.
Yes, and we're talking about standout parts from the documentary, and they made that clear. And this is Chris Lofton never missed a chance to make Kentucky pay. Remember, he was a 3-star, wanted to go to Kentucky. Kentucky didn't offer him, and it was really bad timing for Tubby Smith, because as he was becoming an All-American at Tennessee, Tubby Smith was having his worst 2 seasons at Kentucky. That's kind of what sent him out. That's kind of what ran Tubby out of town. I mean, it wasn't just Kentucky fell off a little bit. It was that they fell off when Chris Lofton was balling in Knoxville, and people were very upset about that.
Have you ever noticed that Tubby Smith and Philip Fulmer had the same career?
They kind of similarly didn't they?
I mean, it's they couldn't stay elite long. Both won a championship, and then it was just kind of like they slid down the hill, and it was like a slow hill. And it was just kind of rolling downhill, but they basically had the same career. I always thought that was odd.
Coop here. First down.
Oh, that's first down, Coop. What do we got?
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
All right. Dropping off Kevin Durant. Man, if you would have told me that Chris Lofton and Kevin Durant are going to square off in Austin, and Lofton, I know it's a team sport, but Lofton's going to win that battle, I would have said no way.
Yeah. Well, this one wasn't Knoxville, to be fair, but still Lofton won the battle. But yeah, it was one of the most memorable games. For those who don't remember, funny enough, Rick Barnes was at Texas at the time. Tennessee trailed Texas by, I believe, 16 points in the second half, 18 points at one point in the game. And Chris Lofton absolutely he actually was shooting horribly in the first half, and then he just got red hot in the second half and led the comeback. And the most notable moment of the game, when Tennessee took the lead, their first lead after trailing for so long, Chris Lofton drops off Kevin Durant from 35 feet out. Kevin Durant fully extended. 6'11" Kevin Durant, who has a foot on Chris Lofton, fully extended. Lofton fades away, drains the 3. Then he goes on. The game goes into overtime. He goes on to finish with 35 points and 11 rebounds as Tennessee wins 111-105. It was, I mean, it's one of the rare elite moments in Tennessee basketball history.
No, I agree. And, I actually saw Kevin Durant in person shut down Trae Young. I took my son to Atlanta to watch a Nets Hawks game, just so we could say we saw one of the greatest players ever. And that game was nip and tuck until 5 minutes left, and they took Durant and they put him on Trae Young, and that game was over. It
Oh
was
yeah.
done. That was the only change they made. What down is it, Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
All right. He said Memphis is his favorite memory at UT, even though he didn't play that great. That just tells me what a team player he is.
Yeah, it does. Same with me. Chris Lofton said that Memphis was his favorite memory at Tennessee. It was when Tennessee was 2 and Memphis was 1. Chris Lofton only had 10 points, and it was because he hit a couple free throws at the end of the game to seal the deal. But you're right. That does say what a team player. He could have remembered the year. That was the cancer year, and he probably could have redshirted and come back another year, but he wanted to be a part of what he knew was going to be a great Tennessee basketball team. And I mean, Chris Lofton, it really tells you how amazing he is. His favorite memories are the team success that they had more than anything else.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. What down, Coop?
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. Fourth down.
Thank you, Coop. How he handled the cancer diagnosis, he easily could have redshirted. He easily could have gone public with it, but how he quietly battled that while being an athlete is beyond me. I just don't. I've seen people go through cancer, and I realize there's more serious forms of cancer than others, but it's still cancer. And how he went through that absolutely still just blows me away. And we talked about how maybe he didn't live up to the hype, but he was pretty darn close. And to have cancer and be able to do that still is one of the great stories in Tennessee athletics.
Yeah, and let's not forget, even that year with the cancer, he set the school record for 3-pointers made in a season. And on top of that, he was privately he also took a bit of a lesser role because Tyler Smith was on the team. He was privately battling cancer, and there were so many questions about his on-court performance early in the year. He didn't go public with it, and what we found out was the biggest reason he didn't go public, he was very worried about how it would affect his teammates and the team as a distraction as a whole. That's the only reason. And I mean, again, that just speaks to everything about Chris Lofton's character and the way he approached the game, honestly.
Absolutely salute to that young man. And I look forward, like I mentioned, you just heard from Cooper. What did Cooper say?
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
They're planning on one of those SEC stories on Cooper Mays. So I hope they do that and discuss his faith. Cooper Mays may be in his early 20s, but he said things to me that were wise and insightful beyond measure.